Well, looks like it's about time for me to able to have a nice little relaxing part of that specific bed in the bedroom itself. Well, I'm just kidding. This is no time for laying around. Hey, what is up, ladies and gentlemen? I am Piglet here once again, and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to more Let's Play of Super Mario Galaxy from the Nintendo Wii. So, last time we actually did manage to, just still continue on with the forms of that specific Purple Coin Challenge Comet missions and all that stuff. And naturally, we've actually managed to fully conclude it with the forms of the Kitchen Dome entirely. So today for this episode is the fact that we're about to be continuing on and hopefully trying to still continuing on with the forms of the Purple Coin Challenges and all that stuff. So at the moment right now, we can only go to Seaside Galaxy or Deep Dark Galaxy. But for me, I'm gonna go for Deep Dark Galaxy first because obviously I'm gonna be saving that for a little bit of a shorter while, but then after that I'm also able to actually go ahead and deal with Freeze Flame Galaxy next, and then after that, well, it all depends on the final two levels that we might actually go ahead and deal with, as a matter of fact. But even then though, that will mentioning about that as soon as we're able to get in. So even then, for now on, we'll go back to the Golden Dome and, just trying to deal with the last mission in Deep Dark Galaxy. So even then, though, let's get into this. So even then, though, if you couldn't tell already, this is actually my second attempt for this recording session, by the way, because it, well, nothing really, not that much of an issue there with the forms of the capturing footage, as you can see right there, because it runs super flawless. But on the other hand, though, that cannot be applied to the commentary, because either way, I'll mention about that as soon as we get to this mission here. So here we go with Plunder the Purple Coins. So once again, it's going to take place on the exact same location as of how it does it from the Ghost House Underground Ghost House, or in this case, yeah, for that specific mission, and also the Ghost Ship Daredevil run, except, well, we don't have to rely on Cambaletta anytime soon. So even then though, that because of how the fact that we've already defeated her twice, well actually 3 times actually, because of that, that Daredevil comments that we've already on about. But either way though, we'll go ahead and deal with that. So, and just like before, grab 100 purple coins as to be expected. So even then though, there's not much else to really say about it here. So, anyway though, as far as, for my second attempt for my recording session at this point, nothing really bad or anything like that. It's just how the fact that, once again, my microphone's USB cord is actually gone loose today. Because either way, though, I'm just getting pretty sick of the forms of my microphone these days. Because either way, though, because it's especially noticeable whenever you're trying to able to actually just, commentate on certain things, but most of the time I just keep on getting little pop-up notifications saying that you lost your recording session. So even then though, because of that though, I have to redo the entire process again. So yeah, that's a little bit of an issue right there at the moment right now. But if it keeps doing that, even when my microphone is dead at the time, then I have to use the built-in microphone, which sure, it might be a little bit of a bad quality, mind you, but either way though, because of that though, I'm just getting sick of the faults of my USB drive system sometimes. But either way, that's as far as I can usually say about it. So anyway, so today was actually forms of the 24th of February in 2019, so quite a lot of things I just want to mention about this actually, because either way, not just by the forms of certain news and updates in the here and there, but rather by the forms of my pickups that I managed to able to pick up by the forms of it during the likes of in yesterday, because even then I haven't really mentioned about that during yesterday as a matter of fact. But either way though, that I'll actually mention about it now. Recently yesterday, I've managed to able to went over to CEX once again, but this time around though, I managed to able to pick up not only 1, but 4 items with me from the likes of yesterday, including one new thing, specifically on Amazon.co.uk, which I already pre-ordered that, which fundamentally though, I believe that DVD compilation will about to become around the same week as Yoshi's Crafted World for the Nintendo Switch will be released. So, I'll mention about that later. But for now, few things I want to mention for the comes to the items I actually did brought by the forms of CEX, which there are one PlayStation 2 game, one PlayStation 3 game, one PlayStation Vita game, and especially noticeable with the PlayStation 3 items. So even then, well, specifically the accessory. So even then, we'll run down the list. So first of all, I did pick up is of course the one PlayStation 2 game, and I'm sure many people already know what I'm gonna say right now. Is Spyro the Enter the Dragonfly, because I know for the fact that that some people seem to say when it comes to Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, this is easily the weakest games in the series, which I understand because of how the fact that that game is unfinished and all that stuff, and some of these technical difficulties here and there, stuff like terrible lip syncing, and especially noticeable with some plethora of glitches and all that stuff, and then sometimes most people seem to be able to think whenever first time they've played the game, or even then though, if they want to do some speedrun tactics here and there, especially like skipping the entire portion of the game, specifically if you ignoring any kind of collectibles, but either way though, still, they can able to actually breeze for the final boss within about like 10 minutes and all that stuff, and I was like, what the Christ is that all about? But either way though, as far as I've heard that how the fact that Enter the Dragonfly is definitely the worst Spyro game that exists. So, but either way though, that's besides the point. But either way though, that yeah. And yeah, because of that though, I've managed to able to get myself the platinum version of the Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, because it's been a while actually, ever since the forms of whenever I picked up the platinum version of you know, Sonic Heroes and Sonic Mega Collection Plus. I think those are the only two PlayStation 2 games I have got the platinum on, but either way, they haven't really brought the platinum PlayStation 2 game since then. So because of that, I was actually very intrigued by that. Oh yeah, and also the same applies for Rayman Revolution, which is a remake, or in this case, a PlayStation 2 port on the PlayStation 2 for Rayman 2: The Great Escape. So yeah, you get the idea for this point. So yeah, that's that. And I haven't really played that game yet, because even then though, with Spyro Enter the Dragonfly, I haven't really played that game yet, just because, well, I still need to able to get my hands on by the forms of those every single Spyro the original trilogy, including the remake on the PlayStation 4 at some point, and hopefully whenever I'm done with those, then I can immediately jump into Enter the Dragonfly. So even then, because I know for the fact that this game is easily the weakest of the series of Spyro games department, which is very understandable, because, you know, unfinished product, you know, here and there, and you know, you get the idea. So there's actually one PlayStation 3 game I've actually got, and that is the forms of Toy Story 3. And because of that though, there are two reasons why I've managed to able to get myself the PlayStation 3 version of Toy Story 3. Is that, well, three of them actually, three reasons. For number one is the fact that Toy Story 4 will be slowly approaching onto the big screen as soon as when it gets to June, which I'm still really hyped for that. And the second reason is the fact that since the PlayStation 3 version actually includes Zurg as a playable character in the Toy Box mode specifically, which is pretty cool deal for me, because either way though, that I can finally play as him, enjoying the likes of I'm pretty sure that game has been out for about almost 10 years ago at this point, but even then though, it's been about a long time coming since I'm now going to be finally play as him for the longest amount of time, because back in the day, in 2010 specifically, I don't usually have the PlayStation 3 that time, so even then I'm pretty much stuck with the Xbox 360 version first, and since we've already done the Let's Play of Toy Story 3 since 2016, that, you know, I can able to actually play that game again, but this time on the PlayStation 3 console. So even then though, because of that, yeah, I'm very intrigued by that. So, and also same applies for the actual, you know, getting all kinds of trophies here and there, but even then, no, I'm pursuing against like the exact same amount as the free, like 39 trophies / achievements or something, but again, I need to look that up at some point. So, anyways though, let's move on to Freeze Flame Galaxy, and we're going to be tackling through the final mission on that level, and that is Purple Coins on the Summit. So, this means we have to do a combination of both somewhat of a similar fashion for how it does it in Mission 1 and the secret mission. So because of that, we need to explore for the beginning portion. Well, we got to explore the entire one planet, just like how it does it from Beach Ball Galaxy, and especially noticeable with Honey Hive Galaxy, and especially noticeable with the forms of like you know, for the majority of any kind of galaxies at this point. So, naturally speaking, that's all there is to know. And why did I miss that? Okay. Anyway, and, yeah, I managed to play that, PlayStation 3 version of Toy Story 3 for a little bit. But even then, I need to get a lot of practice with the forms of the DualShock 3 controls and all that stuff. Because either way, though, specifically, if you get into, like, first-person view, types of control aiming, I have to press the triggers in order to actually just to do that, which I'm assuming it has the exact same fashion for how it does it on the 360 version, which either way though, that makes it a little bit more obvious. So anyways, that's it for that, and also I've managed to pick up one PlayStation Vita title, which I've managed to go with me at the time, which is of course Rayman Origins. Now you probably guys are thinking that you've already got the 360 version, so how come you've got the Vita version specifically? Well, I don't know if I'm actually going to be doing the Let's Play of that game, specifically Rayman Origins, but either way though, because, well, for one noticeable thing is the fact that, well, I haven't really completed that game yet, and also as a result, that I'm actually able to play one version, one between the two, that I'm actually going to be playing through, the Vita version on my own time, so that I can get a lot of practice of it, and then I'll be playing through the 360 version as the Let's Play channel, and, especially noticeable with the forms of, well, let's just say, same applies for Rayman Legends as well, that I'll be playing out the Wii U version at first on my own time, just able to get a lot of practice of that, and, might as well play the Switch version to do a Let's Play of that. Well, it depends on how long it takes though, because either way though, at the moment for the time, you know, we're still currently doing other current Let's Plays. Oh, can I make it? Can I make it? Can I make it? Oh, yeah! Top notch that is. Anyway though, yeah, that's that. And, as far as what I've played Rayman Origins on the PlayStation Vita, oh man, it runs very, very well, actually, on the PlayStation Vita. Certainly way more better than the 3DS version handles, because, for one noticeable thing is that the Vita version runs the exact same frame rate as, the 360, the PlayStation 3, and even Nintendo Wii version as a result too. And, compared to the forms of the 3DS version, it runs like, 30 frames per second, you know, just like in other sorts of 3DS titles nowadays, but either way though, that's besides the point. And there's no way I can never really get the 3DS version of Rayman Origins now, because as far as I've noticed is that the 3DS version of Rayman Origins is going to be a lot more difficult to find, even because of how the fact that I'm pretty sure the 3DS version doesn't sell well compared to the forms of any other multitude of system versions of Rayman Origins so far, and naturally speaking because of how the fact that most people seem to prefer you know, other systems, like for instance Nintendo Wii, 360, PlayStation 3, and even the PlayStation Vita, despite the fact that the forms of like, the PlayStation Vita doesn't usually sell well compared to the forms of, in Japan, because either way though, as far as I've noticed is that, the Japan's PlayStation Vita still keeps on going and going, and even then though, I must have really, surprised by that, so even then though, that's besides the point. And the fourth and the final item I've got, and that is the forms of my new PlayStation 3 DualShock 3 controller. And this time around, I managed to get myself not the third-party version, because I found the third-party design of the DualShock 3 controller to be kind of lackluster in my opinion, just because, well, it's made in quite cheap, and especially noticeable because in most of those DualShock 3 controllers has been specifically made to be able to require to use the wired controller, which doesn't make that much sense to me, but either way though, it was just there for the sake of the forms of like charging your thing up, so, but no, instead, I've actually got myself my used, or in this case, the pretty much used condition version of the DualShock 3 blue color, because even then, because, well, since I've already got the black controller from when I got with the PS3 itself, and especially noticeable, I've now managed to able to finally got the blue color, because even then though, I really do like the blue color. It's more likely a chrome, almost, well, for the likes of the actual blue color anyway, so either way though, that's how you can get for this point. So even then, let's just go ahead and explore the Conquering the Summon section, and this time around though, we don't have to worry about these enemies now, so even then though, that way we could, because the reason why the enemies has been entirely absent on this mission, just because if you're having a hard time with specifically in this mission back in the day, specifically on the Conquering the Summit mission, well, you know, you get the idea for that situation. So, and yeah, I think that's as far as I can go for when it comes to the actual CEX items I've managed to able to pick up. And yeah, so far that didn't waste a lot of cash so far. Well, because I'm usually going to be saving up for obviously Super Mario Maker 2 for the Nintendo Switch, which hopefully that will be up and doing at some point in June. But either way though, it needs to have that specific numbered day until when it gets to the, I believe they're still going to save that up until, you know, E3 2019 is going to approach. So because of that though, it makes it obvious. So anyways though, and I suppose I could mention about I would say the fifth and the final item, which I did technically pick up, but it's more likely a pre-order item, because either way, as I mentioned to you earlier, I believe there's actually one item that is going to come out on the exact same week as of how it does it for Yoshi's Crafted World for everywhere else, like including UK, and especially notable with, you know, Japan and North America, and you name the rest. So, okay, this is a part we need to be very careful of. No, 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 no. Okay, no, 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 no. Oh, don't want to die. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Oh, that was close. Jesus Christ, I can't believe I screwed over from my jump right there. Even then, I was gonna potentially try to jump off by the actual edge right there. But I don't know if there was actually a shortcut you can able to actually triple jump just to skip this part. Let me try. It didn't work that time. Sorry about that, folks. It's just how the fact that I just did not believe I just got screwed over by the forms at that very end. But either way, if you die by complete accident in the forms of that specific challenge, well, you have to go through all that again. So even then, because of that, it makes it no fun whatsoever if you have to go through all that stuff again. So that will be pretty bad if you have to say so for that part. So anyways though, as far as for that fifth and final item, specifically on the Amazon.co.uk, whenever I did manage to pre-order that specific item, and that is the forms of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. For those of you the bronies who are able to actually pay attention to this, I actually did pre-order myself My Little Pony Friendship is Magic Season 5 complete DVD set, because I believe nowadays now, specifically that in Amazon website page, as far as I'm concerned, that they for some reason managed to able to actually get ourselves not only one, but 2 seasons all in one particular year when it comes to DVD box sets, which currently at the moment they've actually working on Season 5, and then especially noticeable for Season 6 as well. I'm guessing because they need to have enough time before Season 9 is going to be a grand finale season of Friendship is Magic Era, which I'm still pretty sad about this, because either way though, I'm really going to miss this generation still, because back in the day, it was actually like, well, again, at first I thought I wasn't interested at first, but then until like 2012 and onwards, that my interest is starting to go strong, even by the forms of the actual TV series as a result. So, yeah, without this in mind is the fact that because they need to working on Season 9 at this point, and I think they really want to able to conclude the actual TV series of Friendship is Magic from the start, which I'm assuming it might be something to do with, like, you know, Season 9 is going to be the final season for this era, which I've already mentioned about this twice, but either way though, that, you know. Alright, so I think that concludes the rest of the bedroom dome, so even though now we need to move on to head back to the engine room, and I think we should probably go ahead and deal with the last mission in Seas Life Galaxy, which I'll say this right now, this is by far is the most longest mission in the entire game, at least in my opinion, because either way, once again we have to reutilize the Purple Comet mission, so here we go, Purple Coins by the Seaside. Why? Because this mission is so long? Well, because we have to keep on doing a lot of cloud platforming, and as a result, this place is going to be quite long and huge at the same time, so naturally we have to go around in a circle. So because of that, well, we have to keep on like doing that. And also because of how the fact that most of these cloud platforms have been standing completely still most of the time, but that cannot be applied for most of those cloud platforms sometimes, because in cloud platforms specifically, with the actual moving clouds, they now start to be moving up and down or left or right. It depends on what directions they're at. Even though sometimes I've found this mission to be kind of long and slow sometimes, because either way, unlike any forms of how it does it from the previous purple coin challenges that I seem to able to actually conquer everything for almost about 6 minutes or something like that. But no, in forms of this particular mission itself, then you have to go with it so much, especially because, you know, cloud platforms exist, and especially noticeable how the fact that you have to go all around in the actual world itself, so naturally you can't really able to actually just speed things up, because either way though, that you'd be spending most of your time just wasting time to able to actually waiting until the clouds manage to start moving again, specifically up and down and all that stuff, but either way though, that's besides the point. Now, I guess there's actually a final thing I just want to talk about for today's video, because either way though, again, not much else to really talk about other than the fact that we're getting pretty close towards the end of this game actually, because either way, and after that, we can able to move on to something else completely. So, and I know for the fact that, you know, sometimes, you know, why do I keep saying that? But anyways, but the fact of the matter is though, is that sometimes I always attempt to like, delaying certain stuff yet again, because either way though, because I really need to catch things up with the forms of uploading schedules at this point, and also I just really want to able to note Daffy Duck to able to get back into Yoshi's Woolly World, specifically by the forms of in some point in Tuesday, because unfortunately though, that specifically originally this was supposed to be able to actually be completed until at some point in today, but since because of this mission in particular, that since I'm actually going to be able to actually couldn't tell by the actual timeline, it's going to be around about 30 minutes recording, so even then because of that, I believe this mission will probably take you about like, let's just say 10 or so minutes, it depends of you know, if you're skillful well enough. And even then though, because of that, you know, you have to keep on like hopping onto cloud platform to platform basically, so that's all you have to really do for this, the majority of this mission. And because of that, you know, you're going to be able to use in that bee suit most of the time as well, because either way, although the only thing you need to worry about, or trying to avoid actually, is of course water, because you know how bees and insects especially, they always really despise water so much, because, you know, they are most well able to drown and just die by themselves. So even though that's how you can think about it. So of course I couldn't go fly back up, but that's okay, because I'm presuming there's actually a spare bee mushroom in here somewhere, which even then though, that would be pretty nice and curious. So anyway. So anyways, I suppose I could mention about the final thing I just want to point out is the fact that, well, we're just trying to able to actually get ourselves by default to the PlayStation 2 Slim, but somehow that Stuart, kept King 74, wasn't particularly a big fan of the phones, the Fat DS, or in this case the Fat PlayStation 2, sorry, by the forms of the original PS2 model, so he decided to able to give the PS2 original model back to us. So even then though, because of that, for whatever reason, by the forms of our PlayStation 2 Slim at the time, I'm having so much more issues with the forms of the specifically controller slots, because either way though, whenever I swear I managed to able to plug it right in, but for whatever reason that the games decide to tell me that my controller isn't plugged in. So even though because of that, maybe it's because it feels a little bit too loose, or perhaps maybe because of something else. But either way though, I'm very glad that we've now finally got ourselves our, you know, the original PlayStation 2 model back. And even then though, because of that, I could have wished if I was able to complete the entire PlayStation Slim series, but for now on though, we'll handle with just only 5 PlayStation stuff Slim models wise, because either way though, because to me, I think PS2 model, specifically on the original model, is actually a little bit more nicer compared to the forms of the PS2 Slim. Well, usually PS2 Slim almost is shaped like a book, which is kind of weird if you ask me, but either way though, that's besides the point. And despite the fact that in the forms of my PlayStation 2, the original model, has been finally getting its return, and even then though, that they still have some issues with the forms of my original PS2 still, mainly due to how the fact that, well, it can't read my Sega Superstars all that much, because I know for the fact that I haven't really played that game often, because of how the fact that that game utilizes the iToy camera, which that's fine, because either way though, that I can usually most of the time play some of those PlayStation 2 software on specifically the forms of the actual DVD ROMs. So, but either way though, that's besides the point, because either way though, in my Sega Superstars game usually only utilizes the purple disc layer, so because of that, sometimes I get a strong feeling that my PS2 might as well crash exponentially, but it turns out it didn't, so even then though, because of that though, I need to be very cautious with that, so... Anyway though, and because of that though, the only major issues I have with that at the moment for the time, for my original PlayStation 2 model at the moment, is the fact that whenever I was able to actually insert my games in, once again my disc tray sometimes usually jams and all that stuff, but as soon as I'm able to try to press it and just trying to let it back out, then I have to like purposely try to do it gently, because as a result, sometimes I have some lot of issues from here, but either way though, that's how I can usually think about it, so... Yeah, I guess that was about it when it comes to the actual informations I can usually think about at this point, folks, because either way, not much else to really say about it here, other than, well, I'm actually able to actually just to go myself my new pickups, which is pretty surprising, and also the same applies for my complete Season 5 DVD box set of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, because either way though, because... Well, you know, I just feel like trying to do that. And I think I should probably need to catch up by the forms of the My Little Pony Friendship is Magic DVD collection before the actual series is about to be ending at some point in this year, which, you know, I felt pretty sad for, because even then I still really enjoyed the show even to this day, because of, you know, some of these characters are very unique and very interesting, and thankfully though, that this show does it so much more better to me, compared to the forms of the previous generations they have. Like, for instance, well, I understand because the target audience is supposed to be for younger girls and all that stuff, but at the same time, that it just makes me feel like watching those older generations of MLP, well, I can still remember Generation 4 forever, but except by the forms of the previous generations, like Generations 1, 2, 3, and even 3.5, don't forget, that I don't think I don't remember, because even then I wasn't really interested with those, and plus, I just really think it's a little bit more babyish than the Friendship is Magic one was to me, because either way, that I found the dialogue themselves in the Friendship is Magic show was actually a lot more memorable to me, and even then, because of that, I actually really enjoy some of the segments in some of those episodes. Sure, they might have some issues with the forms of some of these episodes, like for instance, at this point, on Season 8, that one of the weakest episodes so far in the entire show, and not only that, the entirety of Season 8 so far, which is Non-Compete Clause, because it's pretty much exactly much like a rehash storyline from, you know, one of the episodes in Season 1, which is For Weather Friends, which I will admit though, I do enjoy that episode whenever the first time I've seen it, but as far as whenever I watched you know, Non-Compete Clause episode from Season 8, it just feels kind of, well, rushed. Well, not so much rushed, but either way though, it's just, you know, sometimes rehashes everything like that, so... But I'm guessing at this point they actually started running out of ideas, which I was a little bit panicked at the moment for the time, because sure, I still enjoyed most of the episodes. I still think my top favorite season at this point is definitely still Season 4, just because of that finale portion, that for those of you who haven't seen it, spoiler alert for those of you who might actually be very curious, that the finale portion of Season 4 is still my top favorite episode finale, or in this case a season finale, for any My Little Pony Friendship is Magic show itself. But I still think that the weakest finale season, it was probably be Season 6 finale, just because, I don't know, it just ends up like a somewhat of a... I don't know about you, it's hard to explain because either way though, because I haven't really watched upon this show for quite a long time, and as a result, I should probably watch the rest of Season 9, and if the finale portion of Season 9 is going to be emotional, then I will be really going to be upset and crying all over for my blanket all of a sudden. But either way, we'll mention about that as soon as we get to later on throughout in this game. So because of that, unfortunately though, I've run out of time for this particular point, because I know for a fact that we've only got one more Power Star left, which sure enough is going to take place in Melty Martin Galaxy, so I'm afraid guys we have the endings off at this point here. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Galaxy. Is the fact that we're going to have to obtain the final Power Star in the game, and hopefully we should be able to actually do something else after that. So see you guys next time. Later fellas.